Hello everyone, and welcome to my webinar on how to boost your immune system naturally. So a little bit about me. My name is Ellie. I'm a natural health practitioner. I'm also now a recent NLP health and wellness coach. I'm also a coach in timeline therapy and hypnotherapy as well. I have a Bachelor of Science from the UTS in traditional Chinese medicine, and I'm a Chinese medicine practitioner of 11 years, an acupuncturist of 11 years, and I have a diploma in beauty therapy. And my passion is in women's health, longevity, aging, and stress. And I have two physical clinics, one in the Sydney CBD and one in Fairfield. So the immune system. Today we're going to learn basically about how the immune system works. We're going to learn about what the innate and the adaptive immune system is, the impact of the gastrointestinal tract, nutrition and food, sleep toxicity and stress, and how that affects the immune system. We're going to talk about the importance of nutrition, exercise, and meditation on immunity, as well as some great supportive supplements and nutrients for our immune system. So did you know that 70% of our immune system is in our gut? So that is quite a lot considering everything we're doing, everything we're eating. So all of that is basically manufactured, all the bacteria, the gut microbiome, that is all in our gut. So what is the immune system? So it's made up of basically 4 teams. So the organs that produce the armies of white blood cells. It is also the lymphatic system that helps to circulate these white blood cells around the body. It is the antigens and antibodies your system makes after taking on viruses and other threats, as well as your gut microbiome, which plays a critical role in our immune system. So what is the immune system? It is basically a system of biological structures and processes that protect us against all diseases. The immune system protects your body from outside invaders, such as bacteria, virus, fungi, and toxins. And they recognize these foreign bodies and respond with production of immune cells and proteins. So there are basically 2 main parts of the immune system. One is the innate immune system, and the second one is the adaptive immune system. So we'll go into these in a bit more detail. So what's the innate immune system? Basically, this is an immune system that you are born with. So this is basically what you can't have when you come out of the womb. And our bodies have some level of immunity to invaders. So it's just starting off, it's just sort of a new immune system, and it basically includes any external barriers to the body. So the first line of defense, such as your skin, the mucous membranes, and our GI tract. And there's basically a response is the general and non-specific. And if pathogens get through the innate immune system, what happens is the next immune system, which is the adaptive and acquired immune system, starts to kick in. So what is the adaptive immune system? It is the immune system which you develop when you are exposed to microbes. So as we age and as we go through life, we start seeing microbes come into the system. It is an immune system which is slower to react, and it basically protects you from pathogens which are developed as we go through life. So usually, I'd say probably around 2 to 3 years of age, and then it sort of becomes more complex as we age. So when we're exposed to basically any sort of diseases, when we get vaccinated, our immunological memory becomes part of the immune system, which remembers basically previous enemies, previous diseases that we've come in contact with. So the digestive tract is extremely important to our health, to our immune system, and to the fighting of chronic disease. And what we need is a well-functioning gut barrier, which is basically crucial for a healthy immune system. So our immune system is basically impacted by all the diet and lifestyle choices we make. And like we mentioned earlier, 70% of this immune system starts in the gut. So our digestive tract is basically exposed to things which are airborne, anything in the air, all the foods we eat, and all the toxins in the environment that we eat or come exposed to as well. And the gut has various structures that help us to prevent disease or to try to, combat some of the disease and the pathogens that it comes in contact with as it comes through the digestive tract. So what we need to do is basically feed our gut bacteria. As we mentioned, there's 70% of our immune system is in the gut, and it's made out of on millions of different species. There's so many that are still getting found out every day, but there's a majority of basically all the armies in there which basically help to fight all the toxins or the pathogens. So what we eat is extremely important to basically help with sort of the good armies and the good guys to help fight the baddies in a way. So the food and the environment contribute to its composition. So it contributes to some of the bacteria which we need a sort of rich, sort of a lot of numbers in. So it comes from basically the different foods we eat. So eating a diet which is high in fiber-rich foods is really good for feeding the gut bacteria. It loves fiber-rich foods. It also loves us eating the rainbow. So lots of fruits and vegetables, lots of different colored fruits and vegetables. They all have their particular sort of macronutrients, micronutrients, antioxidants, and all the polyphenols that sort of come with all the different foods and the colors as well. And it likes us to eat good fats as well. So what it doesn't like is basically all the processed foods that we get. It doesn't like a lot of sugar. Some of the bad bacteria feeds off the sugar, and it can actually make the bad bacteria sort of multiply. And it doesn't like bad fats. So the best thing for good bacteria in the gut is to remove all the processed foods as much as possible, to really eliminate sugar, and to sort of remove bad fats. So those sort of the bad oils, the sort of trans fats that we get in the diet itself. So ways that we can boost our immune system is by eating good food. We said by eating lots more vegetables. They contain lots of micro and macronutrients. Great things are mushrooms. They're very, very good. Mushrooms have been shown to be really good for the immune system. They're high in sort of fiber. Broccoli is good, spinach, tomatoes. So with those things, because they're also quite sprayed with a lot of chemicals, the best way is to sort of try to get those couple of things organic if possible. If not, do wash them really well with soap and water. And if you can also dilute. You can also give them a rinse in, sort of soak them in some vinegar water as well. So 1/3 vinegar to 2 parts water for about 15-20 minutes with tomatoes, any sort of fruits which have a very sort of thin skin. You can give them a wash as well. And bone broth has been really good. They contain a lot of collagen, a lot of sort of great boosting, ingredients for your immune system as well. So it loves, really nice organic chicken bone broth or beef bone broth soups. So they're really good for boosting our immune system and for building collagen as well. So sleep has been a big issue, with everything that is going on in the world. We aren't sleeping as much. So the importance of sleep is so important to help our immune system, because the benefit of a good night's sleep really improves those immune cells or T cells that our body makes for fighting all the pathogens. So during sleep, our immune system releases what they call cytokines, which are a particular protein. And basically, they've done some studies, and just one night of poor sleep basically reduces our production of protective cytokines and natural killer cells in the body. So yeah, if you're imagining if you're sleeping for, some people have severe insomnia, so that is definitely more than one night of bad sleep. You can imagine, their body is not producing the sort of cytokines and the natural killer cells that we need to fight disease and fight pathogens. So another thing that is great for the body is having a consistent sleep-wake cycle. So do try to go to sleep, at the same time each night, and to wake up at the same time. And you want to aim for a solid 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep if possible. If you do wake up once or twice, you want to make sure you are going back to sleep fairly quickly. So if that's an issue, make sure you have that checked out or find out what is going on that is causing you to stay awake for longer. And another good tip is, I think, to stop eating any sort of food, any snacks even after 7:30, because you really want to be giving your body a chance to fast for as long as possible. So sort of finishing your last meal, last snack of the day around 7:30, no later than 8. And trying to fast for a good sort of 13 to 14 hours. So not having your breakfast till about 9 a.m. the next morning, because fasting has been shown to sort of introduce your body's immune system, to give it a bit of a rest from over digestive of all the foods. And has been shown to, basically increase all the sort of protective cytokines and natural killer cells, because when it's not eating, your body is going to overdrive to sort of help fight some of those pathogens as well. So another important thing is exercise. So the importance of exercise. So regular exercise will definitely help to build your immune system. It boosts your productions of the macrophages and the T cells, which help to fight the pathogens. Improves overall physical and mental health. And basically, to be able to stay healthy and to keep the body in balance. So it works out all the different muscle groups, as well as so keeping the mind relaxed as well. Because when we re-exercise with basically moderate intensity, I recommend sort of 3 times a week at 40 to 45-minute exercise of intense exercise. We get the endorphins going and helps to reduce the stress hormones and inflammation in the body. And it also increases our body's insulin sensitivity as well. So that's a bonus. So yeah, the importance of exercise. So definitely, I think, to get out and to really moderate intensity. There have been also studies to show that very intense exercise, such as like marathon runners, can actually have the reverse effect on the body. But you want sort of, moderate intensity. I'd say a mixture of, a bit of yoga, a bit of stretching, some light sort of weights, and some brisk walking. That's really great for just mixing it up. And so moderate intensity of exercise in the body is important. Sorry, I've written the wrong title. So the importance of meditation and mindfulness. So meditation, basically, they've done quite a lot of studies and looking into how meditation can help the immune system. The meditation creates a positive mental environment for your immune system to flourish. And it's been shown to actually boost antibodies in the system, as well as stimulating the immune system and the brain function in specific regions of the mind. So it can increase electrical activity. They've actually done tests where they've checked the electrical activity of people that are in sort of a really deep relaxed state or meditative state. That basically it activates the prefrontal cortex and the right anterior insula and the right hippocampus. So all of those areas are basically the areas that calm the stress response, and they act as a command center for your immune system. So again, the importance of meditation, we hear a lot about that. That has been shown to really help with boosting our immune system. So I'd say, look, to start with, if you're new to meditation, you want to start with about 10 minutes a day. So just sitting and just doing some deep breathing. So meditation, all it is, if you're new to meditation, it's basically focusing on your breath, focusing on taking, those deep breaths and allowing your mind to just sort of quieten down a little bit. So you're not overthinking, you're not doing something else. So you're just allowing that sort of quiet time to sit with the body and to allow your body to relax for that length of time. So you can start with 5 to 10 minutes, and look, building up to sort of 15, 20 minutes a day is ideal. All right, so stress and immunity. So we all know that stress is extremely dangerous to our immune system. Your body enters a fight or flight response. So when we're stressed, your body doesn't really know the difference of being stressed, mental stress or physical stress, whether you're being chased by, an attacker or an animal. Your body goes into fight or flight response. And this has been shown that chronic stress over time is a cause of over 95% of chronic illness. So chronic stress basically causes your immune system to be overworked because it's always in the fight or flight response. And your endocrine system is basically going into overdrive. So your nervous system, endocrine system. So all of this stress is basically causing an inflammation at the cellular level and is extremely dangerous to your immune system. So when you go into stress, your immune system basically shuts down. It pumps all the oxygen and all the blood to your limbs, so your arms and your legs, to help you basically flight or fight. So that's why the immune system shuts down. So over time, if you're constantly in this chronic stress state, your immune system can definitely be overworked and basically may not even be functioning to its optimal. So that's why we mentioned earlier that meditation, exercise, all those things are great for reducing those stress hormones as much as possible and keeping you out of the sort of chronic long-term stress. So other tips I think are helpful. Basically, don't smoke. I see people these days, not so much, but there are those out there who are still smoking quite a lot. That can definitely, impact our immune system. There's just so many, synthetic chemicals in each cigarette. We also want to be eating a diet high in fruits and vegetables, like we mentioned. you want to be maintaining a healthy body weight. So when you keep off that excess body weight, you're definitely, allowing your body to function much better and allowing, everything to be more optimal instead of, carrying around a lot of excess weight can put a lot of stress on the body to maintain all of the extra body weight. So yeah, exercise is important. So make sure we get down to a healthy BMI, as well as reducing alcohol. So you want to keep alcohol to a minimum, sort of the social drinking or one glass with dinner, but some people do quite excessive amounts. So you want to keep alcohol, into moderate limits, basically. Washing your hands more frequently, as we all know now with everything that's going on, definitely helps. And meditation, as we said, really helps with some of the stress responses and your immune system. So just quickly, there's some great immune supplements which I think are so important for us to be taking daily, and I recommend these to my clients. So the number one immune supplement, which is really good and essential to our immune system, is zinc. So what zinc does is it supports our innate as well as our adaptive immune function. It improves the T cell immunity, and it improves basically the membrane integrity in our gut and our GI tract, and it has a barrier protection against pathogens. And this has been shown to be extremely beneficial, and it actually has increased effectiveness when it is combined with vitamin C against basically cold or flu symptoms. So you can get some supplements which have a zinc combined with vitamin C for extra effectiveness. And look, I recommend at least 50 milligrams daily. There's certain different zinc supplements out there. But yeah, I would say that at least a 50 milligram daily each day would basically help to keep your immune system quite healthy. My second supplement I recommend is vitamin C. So I mentioned briefly that it is definitely more effective when combined with zinc. So you can get them in combination, or you can take them in separate supplements. So vitamin C, we all know a lot about, but it's basically essential to our immune system functioning. It supports the cellular functions for both the innate and adaptive immune system, supports production and functions of our white blood cells, as well as supporting the epithelial barrier function against all the pathogens. And it promotes basically oxidant scavenging activity. So it's a powerful antioxidant, and it helps with fighting the pathogens and protecting against oxidative stress in the body. So oxidative stress is basically as we come across any stressors in the body, you can imagine like an apple. So the oxygen, basically when it's exposed to certain things, with an apple, if you keep it outside, it oxidizes. So that's what happens in our system. So over time, we go through oxidation, and that can be from various factors, environmental factors, as well as food, all that sort of thing. So as we aging is also a cause of oxidative stress. So vitamin C is really good to protect against aging and to keep the oxidation down. So I would recommend, look, approximately 3,000 to 4,000 milligrams. Do check with your healthcare provider, but I think, yeah, sort of, if you've got a cold or flu symptoms, you can definitely up that. Some researchers or doctors recommend even as high as, if you've got like cold or flu symptoms, as much as even 8,000, which is generally about 8 tablets. It's about 1,000 milligrams per tablet. But look, with every day, just as a general sort of health and just to keep the immune system healthy, I'd say about, 3 to 4 tablets a day is quite good. So my next important immune supplement is vitamin D. So that's also known as the sunshine vitamin. It's basically also supportive of the innate and adaptive immune system. It stimulates the expressive antimicrobial peptides in the system and the body, and also increases your white blood cell count, as well as reducing infections, especially in respiratory illness. There's been quite a lot of studies and work that high doses of vitamin D have been really good against sort of asthma. There's even some studies out now with its effects on coronavirus, which we'll cover in the next slide. But I would say, look, around 2,000 IUs daily. I would, it'd be best if you could check what your vitamin D levels are sitting at, and to get them to an optimal range. So you want something over 80, I think it's micrograms or per 1,000 liters, or whatever the measurement is it's around about 80 to 130 is basically the ideal range for you to be with your vitamin D. So anything lower than 50 is definitely quite low. So that you want to be increasing your vitamin D to around 4,000 even IU if your reading for vitamin D is below the 40, 50 reading. So just check, do keep up with your vitamin D levels and check what they are, because it's extremely important for your immune system function. So recently they've done quite a few studies, a sunshine vitamin. So there was a Dr. Megan Jensen who was involved in research that showed that basically vitamin D reduced the risk of acute respiratory infections. There's very multiple studies out there. You can look them up on PubMed or online. And then also recently there was an Italian study released, I think last week, might have been a few weeks ago now. Basically, they found that high prevalence of vitamin D deficiency was found in COVID-19 patients with acute respiratory failure because of the benefits of vitamin D specifically on their respiratory function. So, and patients with a severe vitamin D deficiency had significantly higher mortality risk from one of the universities in Italy. So yeah, quite interesting actually. So we do want to make sure that, people with asthma, that you're prone to respiratory illnesses, that to check whether your vitamin D levels are sufficient. Another great supplement for your immune system would be omega-3. So the beneficial omega-3 or essential fatty acids is for your immune function, especially your lymphatic system. They basically also support your innate and adaptive immune system function and growth. And EPA and DHA specifically boosts your immune strength by increasing the actions of the major immune cells. It's also great for inflammation, and it's extremely vital for brain health. So our brains basically are made up of DHA, specific essential fatty acids. So I would recommend, getting tested to see what your omega-3 levels are. And these days, there's some amazing tests. I just had one done recently last week. That basically tests a whole panel of different ranges in your essential fatty acid reading. So they can test all the specific essential fatty acids, what your ratios are, and seeing how healthy all the cells are. So yeah, it gives you some great information. So omega-3s are extremely important to brain health, inflammation, mood, and your immune system. So depending on what your reading is on the test, but some of the supplement bottles recommend anywhere between 1 to 4 capsules daily. So obviously if your omega-3 levels are on the lower side, your ratios, then you can definitely be upping your omega-3s to get that to optimal levels as well. So yeah, I'd suggest, if you haven't had that check, that would be a good idea to see where your omega-3 essential fatty acids and other readings are sitting at for your EPAs and DHA as well. And lastly, one of my favorite ones for your immune as well is a probiotic. So probiotics basically support the innate immune system. They keep the intestinal flora healthy. So we mentioned that basically there are so many different species, thousands, if not millions of different species in our gut. So the probiotics basically help to maintain the integrity of the immune system, to boost all those good intestinal beneficial flora in the system. And it assists a wide range of gut and intestinal issues. So these days I do come across quite a lot of people with various different gut issues, intestinal issues. So being on a specific strain or multi-strain probiotics can be really beneficial. As it boosts the immune system, and it helps to keep the sort of rich diversity of the bacteria in our gut microbiome. So that's probably the end of all the tips. So I hope you found that useful. If you don't already know me, you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram under my name, or you can search under the hashtag Acupuncture Beauty Center. And I also take online consultations if you want to set up a consult with me to discuss any of those things or whatever else you have regarding your health. So I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I hope you had a few useful tips to help boost your immune system and to keep yourself healthy, especially in sort of times like this, and just for the rest of sort of keeping yourself healthy for just good health and optimal longevity. So I'll now like to open up to any questions for the people who are on here that you may have. So